A huge shout out to the overthinkers.
An overthinker. He watches the show.
To the overthinkers, shout out Buffet too.
All about faith to this is Parker, yeah. Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Thando kuphela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke kuphume buyakhula nizinja ikhokho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
As overthinking, siya overachieve. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena, I'm your host, and this show right here is a place where we, as football lovers, can come together and speak about things that are happening in this beautiful football that we love. Guys, the show is on every Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. You will find me here. We'll speak about things. But if Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, Bafana, Banyana Style, UWC are playing, we will be here live to speak about whatever we're seeing. We will be here during the watch-alongs to watch the games and make sure that we're supporting these teams that we love, analyze what we're seeing live. So in those days, I will be starting at 7:30 for those who don't know. Guys, the show is live and all of that stuff, but if you want to watch any of the previous episodes back while live, they are available in full on YouTube, where you can go, click on them, listen to our past conversations about what we've been speaking about. It's not just reviews and watch-alongs. It's also a place where we have some really deep-cutting conversations about South African football, African football, and every now and then we will go overseas to speak about what's happening on that side. Now, of course, today is Thursday, and we've had two match days. Orlando Pirates beating Polokwane City 3-0, Sundowns beating Maroma Gallants 4-1, and of course Kaizer Chiefs beating Amazulu 3-1 on their side. We're going to speak about those games today. As you can see, there is a timer, so let's try give everybody some time to jump in. We're going to go through all three matches. What I'm going to do is, when you jump in, give me your thoughts very quickly, and then I'm going to ask you maybe a question on top of that, but I may not come back for a second round depending on how many people are there. Guys, Kopale Tateng Scream, Mantata Scream, so we can get to 40,000 likes. Let's just tap the screen. It is free. And if you want to send some roses, man, send roses. It's fine. I'm here. I've got 6 points. I'm happy. I'm living the life. Anyway, the first game that we're going to start off with is Orlando Pirates versus Polokwane City, where Saleng found the breakthrough and found a little bit of that form that he had in the Player of the Year debate season. And then Evidence Mahopa came in to make it 85 in the 85th minute and 90 plus 1 minute to make it 3-0. They had 12 shots on target, Orlando Pirates, or 12 shots, 5 on target. Polokwane had 5 shots, none on target, and only 42% of the possession. So I'm going to start off with Orlando Pirates. So please, if you want to speak Orlando Pirates and you want to jump onto the show, it's very interactive. Click on the button that says multi-guest at the bottom of the screen. You have to, if you are watching on YouTube, you have to join me on TikTok. Bottom of the screen, there's a button that says multi-guest. Click on it, request, I let you in. Let's have a conversation about Orlando Pirates playing Polokwane City and what you guys thought about that. We're going to end off with Chiefs today, guys. We're going to end off with Chiefs today. Not to be biased or anything, but I'm going to end up with Chiefs today. I'm doing it in order. Pirates kicked us off, and then we're going to go into Sundowns and then end off with Chiefs. Malume Kuzo, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm Nandigunjan, Mr. OT.
But Gemnati man Malume Kuzo. King Karabatuba man Bashai.
We are Mapagani. So Jerry, I reckon Lina can kill a chance. Can Rikito Bona, Rita, Lankilu, Cantiao, Ukala Pagania, whatever I get manage.
Okay. Malamakuso, what are your thoughts about the game that you guys played versus Polokwane City?
And keeping with the spirit of Pirates and Amachi Tangena lady, Siakora Ngama last minute, Mr. OT, Joe Bonabo Pravelile. Last minute. Around 80th minute, Umkuba way too loyal. Even when we are called up to the national team, we do likewise.
Yeah.
Interesting game, Mr. OT. Interesting game. Setting the tone for the season. As we've said, we're grinding out these points. deceiving scoreline. Game was much tighter than what the scoreline suggests. But man, Mr. Uti, I'm happy with our collector 3 points, and not only 3 points. It feels like a lot of points because I mean we've played something like 8 or 9 games, but then again it's just 2 rounds of CAF and 2 rounds of MTN 8, and we've won against every opponent that we faced this season. We've beaten Cape Town City, we've beaten Botswana team Tshwane. We've beaten Disciples. We've beaten everyone we face, Mr. Uti, Chipper, you name them, and that's what the season looks like. And I hope
Guys,
everyone.
please mute. Guys, can you please mute just to respect the speaker?
And I hope everyone is preparing for this long season, Mr. Uti, because if the Chiefs and the Sundowns bazowina kanje, it's gonna help us, Mr. Uti, because silapha esithulele thina. Celebrate nje emakhoneni lapha sijabulele, unlike other people abagijimiswa yimoto. So thina we are continuing with our business. So Mr. Uti, happy Saleng is finally finding his form, even though man, Saleng is a striker, and his attitude is that of a striker where he a striker will take 1,000 shots, Mr. Ot, and score 10 and score 10. And everyone else would have taken 1 shot, and maybe some would have scored 1, others wouldn't have scored. So Saleng Miguel Bamba sometimes I wonder, Mr. Ot, because he has dribula sometimes, but he dusts himself and he goes back again and again. And this is the Saleng we missed last season. A Saleng that had no luck is what we were presented with last season. And this season seems like the dice is rolling for him.
How important is it to have Evidence Mahopa scoring, knowing that you're going to have a lot of games where you're going to need players from the bench to be warm? How do you feel about the 2 goals that Evidence Mahopa scored?
Look, if there's one player who I don't read much into their performance in terms of confidence, is Evidence Mahopa. Evidence Mahopa is one of the most confident players. Whether he has a bad game or not, he'll still come in the next game, give you the performance of his life, whether good or bad. It doesn't matter to him. Whether it's 6 games without a goal, it doesn't matter to him. He knows what the coach has instructed him to do. We've seen score bafana where we've questioned the output, and he's like, I know what my output and my task is, and I've done that. So with Evidence Mahopa, Mr. Oti, it's not about goals. I was on a podcast or a live show where I explained the issue with Umabasa that I have. There was a game that we played, was it against Chipper? Not against Chipper, or against Tshwane, where the keeper showed Uti he wasn't comfortable when pressed. But Umabasa could not press because it's not within him. He's a goal poacher. Give him the balls in the 6 yard, he'll definitely convert them. But when it's time for us to do the hard labor, it's like we are 1 man less, and it's not his fault. You understand? But when it comes to Umahopa, Mr. Ot, it's like we are 2 men more, and it tells with the goals that he scored. The rebound, chasing a lost cause. I mean, it's going directly at the keeper, but he still has the instinct to press. The next one, it's also going to the keeper, but Umahopa is like press, which is what we missed against Tshwane. So I'm happy that both strikers are converting, and I'm happy that both strikers are delivering, whether converting or not.
Let me go to Biggs. Biggs, welcome to the show. How are you? You can just unmute there, Biggs. Let me see if I can help.
Yes,
there we go.
I'm good, and you, sir. How are you?
Hi, man. I'm good. Biggs 3-1 versus 3-0 versus Polokwane. How do you feel about the performance?
Oh, I'm just happy to be on the show today, man.
No, bro. Welcome. Hey, it's the hour.
Hello, can you hear me?
I think network, man. I think network is doing something. Biggs, I'm going to take you off. Just jump back in because I think we're having a bit of a delay with network and I don't want to take too much time. So a request again, I'll let you back in. Takababa, Velile, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, ngiyaphila mtababa kunjani?
Mina ngihlala ngismile kula malanga. I don't know if you've noticed. Velile, 3-0 Polokwane. We won in Janike.
Hayi, kulamalanga kumnandi man. Ngiyabona wonke umuntu ukhipha izinyo lomhlathi. Nawe uhlala umamohlekile la. Kumnandi ezweni. Sezwe kuthiwa nesimo somnotho sime kahle nopetrol uyehla. So nje kumnandi nje. Hey, yeah man, coming back to game so far. We are the only team that has played more games this season than any other team go PSL. And normally it shows that in terms of match fitness on some of the players that are there. And we have to give props to our fitness trainers and also their conditioning coach, Gumguma players, because if they can manage Nakona to run in most cases in all these games, even though some of them are not dominant, but they can run for 90 minutes. Yeah. Especially the more critical play, we can criticize Uhoto, prove wrong. And yeah, so we're going to have to say thanks to that. And also, Nakona, for the results, as much as a game whereby it shows we are tightly marked, our players are tightly marked, and our opposition, they've planned well for our attacking 4 players. Yeah. And the only thing that probably that can be critical about it, and our defenders, or not just defenders, the Pirates needs to also try the strategies of using set pieces to score goals. Because we've seen teams winning league, including Sundowns, whereby players like Abu Kekana, they are back for Abu River. They could come and head those set pieces maybe and win with 1 or 2-0 without their players, maybe their front three if they were totally marked. Because sometimes those set pieces they help, because in Pirate it does get most of the set pieces, but it's rare. Their conversion ratio when it comes to set pieces, I think it's only 1%. It has never been like any higher. So if they can maybe try and adapt that, it will help along the way, because teams like Polokwane City, they've shown us what they can. If you look at the first half, they've shown us what they can mark us, and once our front 4 they've been marked, and then there's no plan. Things like the set pieces can come in handy for us, because we're still going to experience the same teams that are playing like that. One of them is Stellenbosch that we're going to play against to go final. Yeah. They're good at marking. They're good at organization, especially at the back there. So if we don't have plans with our attacking players, at least let's try and capitalize on the set piece. Let's see Unda try to get forward and get goals. Let's see probably now Sisane. Hoto is one of the tallest players. He's supposed to be in the 18 area now and then when they take a corner kick or place. He's not supposed to be outside. Also, Makaula is supposed to be there on that 18 years area. Maybe the people that can send it back, Masanganye and Abu Van Royen, and maybe Usesane if Mufukeng is the one who's taking that spot kick. But the other ones, that have counted, they just need to come to the party, just get into 18 and try to get 1 or 2 of the goals from the set pieces. Then we will be okay, because we're not going to get chances now and then every match. Some other matches will be tightly marked and we won't even have a plan, and we'll be frustrated. Yeah.
Velile, I want to ask you then, you spoke about being tightly marked and being out of the game. Is it that you're tightly marked, or has Pirates learned how to play a different type of game, man? Ngakijimi 200 kilometers every time. Maybe in one and wait until a mistake. That is something that you did versus Jwaneng. It seems like it's something you're doing versus Polokwane. How do you feel about that change in game?
No, I think it's tightly marked, because it get more. That's why you've seen difference in terms of the Jwaneng game, because that's a CAF game. But if you go back into our PSL game, local game, that's where you see now the other teams, now the opposition are planning for the way Pirates attack. That's why you'll see that they always try to give Mufukeng a hard time. Yeah. Umaswanga also a hard time. They make sure he doesn't come forward as more often, even though our coach can try to change the game and also include Udlamini when we play more at home games in order for us to give more opportunity to attack more. But once we get those, if they take out Mufukeng no Saleng on the right hand side, and then they just squeeze Maswangang, then they know Utumabasa no Mwamia, he won't have a supply. And Umabasa without a supply, then he's not danger to any opponent. That's why we've seen him Malanga is lacking, because his supply is not there. Not to say he doesn't get those chances, but his supply is not there. There's minimum chances Ayaguya in terms of supply. While the opposite side, Umakopa, is different as to Umabasa, because he will come in and try to press and also try and draw those defense from good Bahlale move and bring it back to them so that our attacking players can move forward. But it shows what they plan for them. Our strategy to attack hasn't changed at all. There, maybe the difference might be good if the team that we played against it is sitting deep. That's when also it helps now. Uhoto can join Umfukeng on the left hand side, and also Ufan Royen can join Usaleng. But even though we haven't seen Ufan Royen, his qualities in terms of crosses that can come to the box. But Nakona, if Umabasa is not if there's not anyone in the box, Ufan Royen cannot cross to anyone, because we have seen there's some games where, those last 2 games, he had more chances, especially like Pambi, whereby he can pinpoint those crosses to the people who are in the box, but he didn't do that. But he didn't do that because there are no players in the box for Pirates, and it tends to Melasha a back pass and comes back again and try to move inside, so it could allow Usale to come outside. It is more about planning when it comes to local games, Buff.
For time, I'm just gonna jump in there. Let me bring in Vuyo. Vuyo, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, OT, and thank you for the opportunity, and good evening to everyone.
Pirates 3-0 win versus Polokwane. What are your thoughts about the game?
Actually, I went there to the game. I watched the game live at Orlando Stadium, so it was nice. Polokwane City parked the bus. They try to every player three defensive midfielder midfielder ukuthi ahambe nomasengwane everywhere he go. Maphongane or what isibongo sakhe ngiyamkhohlwa, that guy, the tall guy. So they try ukuthi ba defend, but I don't understand the strategy, and what I saw, I was very disappointed. The way the players they are playing, I don't know what standard of the PSL the players when they are playing to improve or to game the same season with the same solo of what you done last season. I don't understand why are you playing same as like season. I understand, but well, it's football. But congratulations to the all big 3 teams to win 3 points for the first time in a long time, to take 3 points. Yeah. I think Orlando Pirates is playing well, even though the teams are trying by all means to play against them, but they are able to get the point. At the end of the day, OT, sometimes it doesn't matter. Who cares? As you win, you go forward. You don't need to pretty football or whatever. What is written is written. Kaizer Chiefs 3, Amazulu 1. Whatever happened, it's history.
So then, what do you think is helping? Because 9 games, 7 wins, 2 draws, I believe it is. Pirates is unbeaten up to this point. What did they change? What did Jose change to get people here, to get this team here?
I think they are still going with the same momentum of last season to winning the Nedbank. That's built their confidence. And now what's changed? It's also, remember, it's not the first time Jose is in the CAF Champions League by mistakes or what. He was the runners-up of the league. He shows that he's consistent. But the question is for how long? And then I think that confidence boosts them a lot, OT, to go all over all of these games. But so far so good. They are not being tested well. So there are certain teams, they play with Supersport, but Supersport, if you see Supersports are selling players each and every season. So it's not that really. I think it's too early to judge or to say anything, because it's very early, very, very, very early. I think let's just wait and see.
Let me go to Malome Kuto. Malome Kuto, I want to ask you 2 questions. Polokwane came out with a plan. They seemed to play very well in the first half. And then second half, it started to break down. What happened with Polokwane? And can we maybe say that they lost concentration? Number 1. And then I want to throw the comment made by Uvelile about the dead ball situations and corners and free kicks. Why hasn't Pirates been taking advantage of those things?
You know, Uvelile made a couple of great points, Mr. OT. Especially Ngaliama dead ball and the Van Rooyen situation, because I usually sit in one of the penalty areas, but across. And every time Van Rooyen, near Van Rooyen, so it would be on the far side of the camera.
Yeah.
Every time Van Rooyen has that ball, Mr. Uti, yeah, every time in the box.
Guys, please mute when you come in. Please mute when you come in. Shawalala, please mute there.
And maybe the telepathy between Umabasa and Van Rooyen doesn't exist as yet, but the runs do not call for a cross, you know. And sometimes when Van Rooyen tries to play that ball early, Umabasa is just half a second late. So they don't understand each other as yet. And I think that's a great point. And also to add to that is that it can't be that Van Rooyen has to aim at Umabasa only, you know. I mean, if Van Rooyen is going down the line, maybe Umaswangai as well as Usaleng should be adding numbers in the box. But the way they run, it's like they want to play a 1-2. They're not interested in getting a cross in. You understand? Literally, every time he gets to the bar line, it's only one guy, and Usaleng is just close to him, right here, and not making a run towards the far post or towards the middle.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult for our players to play crosses in open play. And when it comes to dead ball situations, the other issue is that we literally only have Olisanda and Talent Mbata as the tall players, and players with aerial ability we can then include Tabiso Sesan. So it's those three, you understand, which becomes difficult. I think Olisanda did convert, but it was from a rebound, not necessarily directly from the set piece. It was from the second phase of his set piece, the inability to clear. I'm a dead ball, yes, we do convert, but I don't think that's the point Uvelilo was driving. He's mainly driving where it's impossible to score from that angle. Faganama cross, defenders Kopugan. So it goes down to the height of the team and the precision of the pass, which it's quite difficult when you don't have numbers. For example, if you go in against Chiefs, I'm just going to use Chiefs because it's easy to pick out. You will then have to deal with Cross, Dudley, and Kanakiman, the new guy. Miguel, Ranga Chivaviro, and Usale. And that's the makeup of most teams. It's like 4 or 5, which is the situation with Bafana, that we don't want to find ourselves where we are vulnerable in that space. Hence, tall players are preferred, which, okay, we can convert since African football is not the most enticing in terms of Ama 1-2, you understand?
Yeah.
So we do need height. Kogi is gone and gone in terms of injury, and Umtetwa is not there. And when Umtetwa is in the field, he does provide that option to score, which also speaks to his height. Then sometimes we do overemphasize the ability of a defender to play on the ground, and we neglect the aerial threat the defender can pose defensively and in attack, which is what Umthetwa does bring for us. So it's a give and take with Cesar.
For time's sake, I'm going to move on from that Polokwane question. I want to see if I can fit others in. What went wrong with Polokwane, and why are we seeing teams come out with a plan and then second half they fall apart? And then on the dead ball question, that the point that you raised, man, is it all about height, or can it also just be about, man, nibe creative nyana, maybe in Tolu coach or ngaba creative ngama set piece, or somebody else to come in?
Okay. First of all, Gugu, on the last point, when you talk about the height, it's not only about the height, but about aerial abilities to head the ball, because we had players that I can mention that had aerial abilities without the height. The late Muchaka Madisha could head the ball. Lucas Twala, when he was moved from left to the central defense position, he could head the ball while being the shortest player on the field. We've got, who was that guy who was playing for Sundowns from South America, who played for Chiefs, Torrealba. Yes, he had that heading ability regardless of whether like a height can also Ubodlel can do that for you. So it's a matter of good players got ability in terms of aerially to head the ball, not about hijack. Yeah, even as Parker as well could also do that. But once I'm Kombola, washa a goal of the season, your own goal, Ethiopia, Legusi, Kune. So I'm going to heading ability anayo.
Hey, Barra. Hey, Barra. Hey.
So what? So it's about maybe in terms of like practice all those aerial positions cool, but it's a matter of just practice, not about the height and also the timing, yeah, ball. Because if you look at as much as Usesana angaba about that ability of header, but sometimes if you timing yakhe right, as he was exposed in 2 games against Ichiba United when it comes to Evanga, he exposed in that situation, timing. And which I see a problem if we're gonna face team njengamazulu with uEgodaro and uDiong kuzoba nenkinga lapha. Ipulukwane nje ishawe experience. It's one team that has always been consistent each and every season. It's your top. So the last year bake benenhlanhla ukungena ku top 8 babu number 6 or what? It's one of those top 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 positions team. Yeah, and if you look at their middle field, it cannot last long because we know Cole is an old person, so he cannot run for 90 minutes. So I see like they are just experienced Ayiko, and with most of the talent in terms of their players, it's limited because you can count players that can make an effect. If it's not Apolis and then your Matuludi on the right hand side. Uchauke is just running around here, Pambila, he's not a threat at all.
Yeah.
With Uko Alexander coming in with that experience, also with dead ball specialists and heading, that's it. That's what they can offer. Lababa, they are just defending. Your normally team Yasemaka, that one cannot pass on it. So, they don't offer anything.
Okay.
Yeah. And also bonus card ngatshela ngathi icoach oqala kumele hambe ucijimpi wangiphikisa ngakuthi ukuthi akekho
sizongena khona not 10 la
Mazima just go and take umidi ndobo ku Cape Town Spurs a coach amazulu
Kati velile yaw Vuyo. I want to ask you the 2 questions. What happened to Polokwane? And is it not just Polokwane, man? The smaller teams, SuperSport did it versus Sundowns, where they sort of switched off in the second half or tried to change things, and they went and lost. What's happening with those type of teams? And then I still want to speak about this dead ball situation in the Pirates. Does it have to be heading? Can you be clever ngama dead ball wako without necessarily having to take it to somebody's head?
Every amateam awafani, but well, yes, the Pirates it's a point. Pirates, they are not that good when it comes to my second ball na area, corner kick, set piece. Those things, even to defend, is very hard for them. Actually, it's not only born and the Sundowns now, they are failing to defend a set piece. If you want to beat them, you must use set piece. They are failing. So I think the Paris, they need to improve, as we said, because they need to improve in the Bayama second ball. But OTA, I would love to give you credit to any issue. You know what? To being honest, I see Mfukeni is growing each and every game.
Yeah,
We are improving. He's going back for marking aggressive. Yeah, like he is doing everything, that boy, on the field of play. So I'm very, very impressed in the way he's consistent, the way he's focusing. Each and every game, he tried to do something each and every game. So it's becoming more consistently, and it's not only a ball player where we have the ball. He's going back and tackling and marking. I'm very, very impressed to see a young man, what he's doing. I'm very, very happy, by the way. But when it comes to Polokwane City, it's not the only team that is doing that. I think this thing of parking bus, you end up tired, OT. It's not easy. It's the beginning of the season. So it takes a lot to park a bus. It's not just to park a bus. Because the best way to defend is to attack. So I don't understand when you're parking the bus the whole 45 minutes and then the whole second half, you want to still to use those things. It doesn't help. It's still early. The players, they will get tired. Some OT still early in the season. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Vuyo. And Tuli and Hansel, I'm going to give you both time to just tell me what your general thoughts are. Then I'll just ask you a question when you're done. Tuli, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself, Mr. OT?
Mina ngihlale smile these days. I don't know why. Angazi ukuthi kezakaleni. Sithintene life in. I don't know.
I know, we all know.
3-0 Pirates Polokwane. We wanted to dedicate.
That game, okay, I'll say performance, Pirates. It wasn't a clean performance, I would say. Ne? But the positive they should take from that game, they came out with the maximum points on that game. But it wasn't much of a clean performance. Because if you check Kamakoli, the 2 goals that they scored, it's unacceptable goals from Polokwane side. They had a mistake. So, and then coming up to Ilo Kunjani, the way they were playing in Pirates, I'm not sure if it's me. I was confused by role Umfukeng, but it was working on their advantage because it seems like Umfukeng, he wasn't sitting on the side the most. I saw him centrally in most of the times, which maybe it was a plan. Okay, since Umfukeng is on the spotlight, probably Polokwane will have someone to man mark him or some. So manje my location position going centrally is sort of peeling off from whoever is given a duty to man mark him. Hence it was difficult for them ilokunjani Polokwane ukuthi ikwazi ukulokunjani ucontainer ilokunjani Pirates based on what they planned like pre-planned for game And then maybe I will come back to the questions that you were asking the guys regarding small teams when they play against these so-called big teams.
I think for time's sake, you can just go straight into it.
Yeah. So I will say, Mr. OT, it's the aura of the team. Ne? So aura, I'll say, okay, for now, I'll say Pirates and Sundowns. Chiefs is slowly gaining that aura again. They tend to deviate. Smaller teams, they tend to deviate to their normal style of play or whatever style they play on. Bafuna ukulokunjana, bafuna ucontainer that particular team. So they are playing on Pirates or on Sundowns hand. So whenever you deviate from the plan, it's like difficult because you have to have a maximum concentration throughout 90 minutes. And then as you tire, ingqondo ayibisasebenza kahle because that's when they will lose that particular shape abade beyiplanile for that game. Hence benza nalama mistake owabonayo is because they're not playing according to the norm that they are used to.
Okay.
So
okay,
that's yeah.
Just for time, let me go to Hansel. Hansel, welcome to the show. How are you, my brother?
Mr. Uti kunjani bafo?
Mangimnandi. Then you heard that, but now I'm back. Let me tell you, Hansel. How did you feel about Pirates 3-0 win with Polokwane?
The game was very nice to watch because one thing I've noticed, Corey, this season when Pirates is playing, it does not care. There's no small team in Pirates book this season. They are going all out to win all the games, right?
Yeah.
And I think one thing that Jose Rivera has learned is to win, regardless of what kind of football you are playing, because sometimes you might play 1,000 passes and then at the end of the game loses the game. And what is important is winning. It's points, right? Stats, ball possession and whatsoever and passes at the end of the season, they don't give you anything for that, right? So what's important is getting points and winning the game. I think that's what also Jose Rivero has mastered and has looked at and like, okay, this is how I can be able maybe, because I think it's 2 seasons he have been falling short, coming as number two, and then now maybe has found a new strategy to come as number 1. And as for Polokwane, I think Polokwane just lacked boldness. Same thing I think Chipa did. When they were playing, it's like they want to play a low block maybe, and then just try to catch Pirates sleeping maybe on 80 to 90 minutes there. where Pirates cannot come back, and which is a problem nowadays because Pirates has a tendency of scoring 90 plus, right?
Yeah.
So basically, also the kind of player profiles that they have, I don't think Polokwane City went to the market during the transfer period. I think they are lacking a lot of players. It's just a few players that you can mention that are performing, really performing, and then the rest they are just there to add numbers. You can't play with 5 players at the end of the day. So basically, yeah.
No, go on. I'm gonna finish off. I'll ask you the question.
Okay. Yeah, basically, I was just saying they lacked boldness, and then I think also Van Rooyen also made Apollos to be null and void because he was marking him. He did not have as much freedom as we usually see Apollos. And also, the other thing that they were struggling with, I think Jose is always turning players. Like if you are a number 5, he will turn you to a 6. If you're a number 6, he will turn you to a 7. It's the same thing that he's doing to Mufukeng. That's what the previous speaker was talking about. It's like now he wants to turn Mufukeng into a number 10. If he makes him a number 10, then that makes him more versatile. He must not just play as a winger because he's predictable. That's what he has done with Kim Vuid. Kim Vuid is a central attacking midfielder, but most of the time when he puts him in as a winger, right? That's why most of the time you see he does not perform to the Kim Vuid that we know. But if you put him in the central, you see that now he's performing. He has those short passes, there's those nice defender splitting passes and all those kind of stuffs. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the boldness.
Yeah.
Could it also maybe be an issue, Oguti? Polokwane was too bold. You're 1-0 down versus Pirates, or you're 0-0. You know, a point at Orlando Stadium is not bad. Now you've gone from +3 goal difference. You've won your first 2 games. You lose a game, you're back to 0 now. For example, in goal difference. Shouldn't they at some point have just gone, you know what, guys, we're closing, we're shutting the back door. Let's go home with a 1-0 loss.
Yeah, that's what the coach also said. Now when he came to Orlando Stadium, he was planning on getting a draw, right? But at some point, the way you play, it also gives other players, it also gives the opposite team a strategy on how to beat you, right? You are not gonna defend people like Saleng for the whole 90 minutes. You understand? You are not going to defend the likes of fucking Bo, Tito Masanga. They are very creative players. They'll always find those pockets. They'll always find those spaces in between, right? So how do you try to manage that? You also try and attack them because mostly if you attack, you'll find Mufukeng defending, you'll find Saleng defending, right? So now we are making them work. They're going to be tired at the end of the day. But if you don't make them work and then they're just sitting there, they have a free roll, then they're going to attack you for the whole 90 minutes. Make them go back to collect the ball. They can't run for the whole 90 minutes. They will get tired also. They are human beings. They have played 9 games already. So what they have to... So sitting back and trying to absorb the pressure, I think that's where Polokwane failed. And they also... there was a lapse of concentration when Mahopa came in around 80 minutes to 10 minutes. They just thought, we have lost already. I think that's where also that part played in. That's why Mahopa got those 2 goals within 10 minutes.
Okay. What I'm going to do now, Malome Kutso, I'm going to give you a minute. You've got the minute that's left. What did you want to address?
Mr. Otsi, there are fairy tales in life, but then there's reality as well. In boxing, people box in classes, weight divisions. The physicality aspect of the game does count. Even in athletics, your physique does play a role. If you are fast, as fast as a shorter person, but you are just taller, you do gain an advantage. So height in that regard, if you are a skilled header of the ball versus a skilled header of the ball who's taller than you, it gives the kicker an advantage to say, I'm just going to loop it as high as possible. You are not going to get there. It becomes physically impossible. We saw this Kanakimang with this guy yesterday who was told, go and use tactics to mark Miguel. And it was a goal. We all looked at it and thought, are you mad? How is Brooks going to stop that? And immediately it went to him. And again, vision-wise, it affects the kicker. You cannot see a shorter person behind a taller person. It's just that simple. You would have to have trained extremely extremely well or whatever to get that precision.
I want to say, just ask you one thing very quickly, Malawi, very quickly. In attack, can you not then be creative with what you're going to do? So, like you're saying, the reality is that if you're short, you're short. Is there no way to craft dead ball situations, corners, those things to a short team? Can you be creative in that regard?
You definitely can. We've seen it before with the pass, the mini pass towards King, towards your goal, and then as they push up, you just play it quickly, and then you give your shorter guys a fighting chance. You understand, Mr. OT? But we've seen it over and over. It works better, Mr. OT, when the players are tall. We've seen Chiefs take the league using the 3 towers straight. We've seen Orlando Pirates take the league. In as much as Lucas Twala was hitting the ball, the goals were coming from Sia Samweni and Happy Chele in the A. We've seen Real Madrid use Abo Militao. We've seen Supersport. If I asked you who's one of the best hitters of the ball you've seen in South Africa, you probably pointed a guy who wasn't even jumping, and that's Lungisani Ndlela, because he was just tall.
It's for time. What time? We're into extra time.
Thank you, Mr. Uti.
Thank you, Malebe Kutso. Guys, there's the clock for a reason, because we have to get through 3 games. So please just try to keep it short, but where I can, I'll try and squeeze people in. Please remember to tata the screen, man. Tata the screen. We're trying to get to 40,000. I see we're on 20,000. Thank you so much. We're now going to speak Mamelodi Sundowns. So I'm giving everybody in the comment in the queue a chance. Please, we are speaking Mamelodi Sundowns now. I'm going to reset the clock, and we're going to talk about them. We're ending off, of course, with Kaizer Chiefs. So let's make sure, guys, that you're going to speak Mamelodi Sundowns as a belief. Okay. Let me let in the next guys. Guys, also, while I let people in, 9 o'clock is going to be Isoga Lindopep. Lindopep comes in at 9 o'clock after my show on Mondays and Thursdays. The tactical breakdown show, the tactical technocrat breakdown show, where they get more into the nitty gritty of the tactics around that and all of the deeper details. So after the show, at 9 o'clock, feel free to jump in and then go over to Lindo's show also at 9 o'clock. Putomkulu, we're going to speak Chiefs after this one. Asian, my brother, welcome to the show. How are you? Guys, please mute when you come in.
How are you?
No, man. Kasmila these days, man. Kasmila these days. I'll get to my reasons just now. Agent, Sundowns, 4-1 victors versus Maruma Gallants. Reynolds, Matthews, Costa, and Kulisa scored. Sundowns at 11 shots, 9 on target. Gallants at 14 shots, 6 on target. 39% possession for Gallants, 61% for Sundowns. How do you feel about the game that you guys played?
Yeah, no. Good evening to the folks at home. It was a interesting game. I think we saw what we've been trying to do, and sometimes it's a case of when the results go your way, you will get all the praise, but if they don't, you won't be praised, so I think that was the only thing which leaves a sour taste or bitter taste in my mouth, because I know that if the results go the opposite way, the haters and the what will be back again, but we'll deal with them as if and when they come. But onto the game, I think there's going to be one dangerous pass that Sundowns should that opposition team should look out for, is that over the top ball, over the defensive line, that's going to be very dangerous, because you can't defend it. That's the sad part about it. You can't defend it because you'll never expect it. You know that it's gonna come, but you don't know when, because Sundowns is always gonna play it. It's gonna play there. You're gonna play there. It's gonna play there. It's gonna play there. It's gonna play there. It's gonna play there. In the back, and even go through the lines, and the Sundowns way And maybe for 20 minutes they'll do that, you know, and you think, no, okay, that ball's not coming. And the moment you sleep or you sneeze off, there it is, you know. So it's going to be a very, very dangerous pass, you know. And I think the other team in yellow, is it yellow, gold, hey, whatever the color is, rounded off to the nearest thing, should watch away for it, you know. And Abudiku just mentioned a great point that it reminds him of Klompa and Kakan, that Klompa would always look for that pass, you know. So I think it's going to be a very dangerous ball. And I think it was Abudiku who said Sundowns has went back to its way, you know, and I think the Sundowns of Pitso, you know, where we are looking out for more goals than anything else. So yeah, but I think I'm impressed with the general player. Thanks.
Okay. Let me go to Conti Cornelius. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi guys, I'm fine, thank you, Mr. OT. Good evening, everyone.
4-1 versus Gallants.
Yeah,
How
what's
do you
the
feel
question?
about that game?
General.
No, what's the general? Yeah, general thoughts about that game.
I think Sundowns played very well. They went to their, you know, building from the back, Piano and Shushine. I was very impressed with Libusa. He played some dangerous ball into the second, third line. And, you know, he's been the most underrated player, although he's getting old, but he's stood his ground. And I think what Coach Mangoba is trying to do, we all can see what he's trying to do by trying to build up slowly, and Abu Alende in the midfield. I think there he's gone back to the diamond a little bit there with Matthews as well tucking inside, and you can see that Uribero doesn't really play a right wing. He also comes as a false 9 or sort of a 10, and sometimes he also comes and into build up. So he helps Sundowns in different type of sort of attacking formation. And when we are when we get the ball and it's a counter attack, Riboro is able to accelerate as well. So he gives us a different dimension in terms of the way we play. Unlike you have one player giving you one dimension. So Ribeiro is able to give us where we can slow down, where we can go on a fast pace, where he can hold the ball. He actually reminds me of Mbesuma of Kaizer Chiefs, where he can turn on the defenders with his body. So yeah, so I'm quite happy, especially with Reyners up front. We are able to use him very well with the speed, and we didn't have a lot of offsides, considering that we're using speed up front. So I'm quite happy.
Okay, I'm going to come back. Let me go to Umaronza. Maronza, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you, man?
Man, Maronza, Tina, next door, man. Prove next door.
Yazi. Hey, nama comment wako nasi groupini yawezi ukuthi no. Ane smile, azodla amakellogs angeke.
Maronza, for time's sake, man.
Asibone Saturday.
Aye, man. Saturday will come. Maronza, Sundowns Gallants 4-1. We won in the game.
You know what? I don't want to talk about Sundowns. I want to talk about Gallants.
Okay.
No,
okay,
I'm talking about
okay.
the other team. Yes. What I'm saying is, I'm disappointed with all the teams that are playing against Sundowns, Pirates. You understand? Let me talk about those two teams. Reason being, I think everybody knows how Sundowns plays these days. You know how they play and how they do things and all that. But I think that the players from Galan, they didn't raise their hands.
Yeah.
You know, I'm quite disappointed, especially with the experienced guys at Gallants. They didn't raise their hand, and it's so disappointing because one thing for sure that I'm sure about. Uten. We're humble above. Yeah, bro. So, but I think it is good for Sundowns to go back to their old way of playing. You know, that is a good thing, because I felt they have changed, but now they've gone back to the Sundowns that we know. You understand me? Even though there's few players that are coming in and all those things, like I didn't expect that they would play, but they're playing. So that is good. You understand me? But I wish well to Sundowns, man. But teams, they don't want to raise hands when they're playing with these teams, man. Especially Pirates, Sundowns, they don't want to raise hands. I don't know why. That is my problem with this league. So we're not going anywhere. Okay, Chiefs now they're raising their hand to say they want to play, but what about the 13 teams which going down and all that? They don't want to. And it's so disappointing. It makes our league to be weak and weak and weak because I don't know other teams. How can you go to Orlando for 1 point, go to Loftus for 1 point? I don't understand. I don't understand this mentality of these coaches, including the players. That is my problem with this league for now. But I think I'm happy for Sundowns the way they have turned the corner and all those things. Football wise, playing from the back, I'm telling you, I love Pirates. But when it comes to watching Sundowns playing from the back, I love them, to be honest. That is my take for this one, man.
Let me go to Umazkali. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing good, Mr. Ochi. What about you?
I'm man. Like I said, I'm always smiling. Tell me, Sundowns 4-1 versus Gallants. How do you feel about that game?
Hey, I don't want to lie. I feel so good about that we are back to our winning spot. You see, but I don't want to lie also. I'm not happy with how we are playing. Okay. Maybe to mention that we have got used to a certain kind of play, which is said to be different, juxtaposed to the current one. You see, another thing that I'd like to talk about is that as much as I feel like we're not playing well, or we're not meeting the expected standard of play that the team used to playing. What is going to happen the day we're gonna lose, for instance? Because if you were to check what is happening between the match of Gallants and Sundowns, especially on those 70s time, if I'm not mistaken, from 70, 80, and then in 90s time, where you saw how Mango was attacking us, for instance. So now I'll bring a question which say that what will happen if Marumo Gallants decided to start with Mango? We'll be talking a different story now. I mean, according to how our players were sleeping around those times, because I couldn't understand the kind or the type of the football that we were trying to implement at that moment. You see, and also I would like to mention some few issues about players that are being given chances, and also the issue of Motaung and Mokwena. I'm not happy about that one. You see, I was happy with the 11 first selected players also, but then I wasn't happy with the subs that were made, because I couldn't find a suitable reason, like, I mean, their use as the sub, because I felt like it just created an unnecessary kind of play that it was said to be ununderstandable at that time. You see, but just to mention it, just to make it a short, or just to make a summary, Mr. Oti, I would say that let me allow Mangoba to lead the team, even though I have doubt with him. But it doesn't matter what player he's going to use right now, because what he's doing, according to me, or according to my opinion, he's just, I feel like at the beginning he was trying to expose the politics that was happening behind the scene of the team. Because for instance, now he has certainly showed us that, okay, Rulani had his own players or favorite so-called players, you see. So now because it's me who is in charge, like I'm gonna show that, okay, I also have my own like favorite players, you see. But at the end, I don't mind which players do Coach Mangoba's use, as long as his decisions are not going to turn us into a laughing stock at the end of the day. And then I've got my support behind him. Thank you, Mr. Oti.
Let me go to Tyler. Tyler, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Oti, I'm great. We won last, when was it? 2 days ago, or a day ago.
Yeah.
I'm glad we are celebrating, but we are not there, Oti. Thanks. Greetings to the other gents. I see Agent is here.
Oti,
I need you guys to also help me with the number, WhatsApp. I also want to participate there as well.
No stress.
Yeah, I think Sundowns is finding its feet. The style of play, we can all see now what Mangoba is trying to achieve. It's coming slowly, but we're yet to see them or test that style of play when they play against bigger teams. I like the approach. They are very fast and they are very direct when they attack, and they're very smart as well. You've got Ulendugu Ribeiro and Matthews coming in to assist Modiba there in the middle of the park. So when even the first goal, it came through through Ulendugu, the defense to Matthews to Ribeiro, and then and that's how the goal got to be scored. Even the second goal, you see Matthews tucking in the middle, drifting in, breaking lines, and when they attack, there's about 5 players in the box, and whenever they toss that ball, they don't just cross it; they cross behind the defense. Because the defense are looking to their poles. So Williams is class. As I mentioned, Allende, now you see him more often in the box, which is something that that was not happening under Rulani. As I was saying, they're playing direct and very fast. I think Reynas is becoming a headache for Shadulile. Morena, I think his class. He's playing it's like he's a new player at Sundowns. It's like they just bought him, and I don't think now with the pace they are going, they're going to miss those two, Bafana internationals, Mudau and what's his name? I always forget him. Mokwena. Even though those boys are class, but with the rate they're going, hence I was saying, OT, we're yet to test this thing and when they play against big teams, in Africa. Because I don't think in the PSL there is a team that can match Sundowns, because they can always change players around, and each and every position's got about 3 players that are brilliant. So that alone, I don't think there is a team. Hence, we always say Sundowns will keep on taking the PSL champion. I think those are the pointers for me, OT. Thank you so much.
I want to go to Agent. Agent, Tentance is a very experienced coach. We've all known Tentance. Everybody was crying about him at some point. What is happening at Gallants? And what I want you to touch on more than anything is adjustments. There are certain things that are happening throughout that game that Tentance didn't adjust to. Whereas if you look at a coach like Coach Mangoba, he now knows how to use Reynas. He's using Reynas in a different way, him and Tash, and even Ribeiro. This thing of coaching in the PSL, why don't we see those adjustments? And then secondly, Sundowns, how Sundowns ended that game. Is it anything to worry about? Did the one goal that Gallen score come at the right time, as you always say?
Let me just say, Dumela, what you think? Let me pass by this and say, Palani man, come back and tell us how you should deal with these people. Like, we see them, we hear them. Even in that house, you can see the head. Hey, please, my friend, come back and show us, man. Some are even lying and waiting for us to lose and say, when we lose, then we'll attack. It's a free world, free enter, free exit. There's many spaces at Mpanzis there, and I can even afford to buy tickets to Morocco. But anyway, so not there. But I just wanted to say that we see them. It's not that we don't see them. We see them in their nice Chinese suits with their nice English, and we'll deal with them when the time comes. But anyways, we used to be 57, and we're happy to be 57. The other 10 can go back to Chiefs. But it's fine.
Time.
Sorry. No, I had to deal with them so that they don't think that when you're smiling, we don't see them. I think with Gallants, it's a case of stubbornness, right? there was a coach called Middendorp Chiefs. Teams figured him out towards the end of his season, and he couldn't adapt. Right? Adaptation doesn't necessarily mean move away from your style of play. Every team knew that the defenders stop the crosses. You are done with Chiefs, right? Now, Gallant, same thing. Given the ball, wait. It's like a toothless dog. It will bark, but it don't bite. So just wait, take the ball, and then you go back to them. And use opportunities. So adaptation doesn't mean that what is the word? Doesn't mean go away from your style of play. It just means add a variety to your style of play so that you're less predictable. Right? So Dendez is failing to be adaptable. He's failing to have a surprise factor. It's the surprise factor that we have now at Sundowns that he's lacking. If Sundowns can play Route 1, who are Maruma Gallants who can play it? And secondly, there is always a thin line between bravery and foolishness. He has gone to the foolishness side. You have lost 2 games against what was that? Arrows and Chiefs.
Yeah, it was Arrows and Chiefs. Yes.
And you think you're going to go to Sundowns and go pound for pound with them? Like, make it make sense. Sometimes you say, guys, maybe the players don't yet understand my style of play. Let me sit back for now, and we'll go again against a team of similar ilk. So I think he's just been stubborn for no good reason. And if he loses next game, he's gone. Unfortunately, because what PSL teams do is when it approaches international break, they look at it and say, okay, 2 weeks, we can get in a coach who can maybe do something those 2 weeks instead of fair in the middle of the season. So he should make sure that he wins the next game. I don't know what the next game is, but he should make sure that he wins it. It's against Amazulu, so it's Dama and Dama. So we'll see who the Dama is. But if he loses, he's gone. Because they'll say, but Amazulu also is as dumb as you. So, you're the dumbest. So out of the way. Now, to Coach Mangoba, like I said, that was the most important goal. Of all the 5 goals in the game, that was the most important goal. Together with the penalty, I think going back to adaptation, players, right? If you look at the Nigerian penalty kick and the Nedbank Cup final, almost all the players went through the middle because they knew this guy would dive. So the fact that he just stood there, and it's a risky thing because if you go to the side, you look foolish. You look very, very foolish. Now, when you stand there and the player is there, the player looks foolish. So it's who's going to be more foolish? There's a thing called how many seconds? 2 seconds, 2 minutes. There's a thing called game theory. Game theory says if I know that OT shoots to the left, and OT knows that I know that he shoots to the left, do I need to shoot to the left, or am I gonna change and shoot to the right? And know that OT might think that I know that he's going to shoot to the left, so I must go to the right because he's going to think that he's going to go to the right. So you get, so it's a lot of things that is involved. I think that's what makes this keeper very good, So kudos to him, and I think that goal was very important for us going to the derby, And I think equal also to the Chiefs. To be fair, that goal was quite important for them. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Let me go to Conti. Conti, same 2 questions. What's happening with coaching in the PSL? Because a lot of the things that we're seeing is repeated. We saw Reyners even lining up by the left back because he saw that guy was jumping out, and then they were getting all the chances, same as Matthews on the other side. Dance hasn't adapted 3 games in. He's lost 3 games now. What is happening with coaching? And then the way Sundowns ended that game, how do you feel about it? And do you think that that Gallant's goal was important, maybe to just bring them back into line?
Yeah. About Gallants, I just felt that Coach Dendens, he went pound to pound with Sundowns, and that wasn't a good strategy because he should have tried at least to go 4-2-3 3-1, but he went 4-3-3 with Sundowns, and I felt that wasn't a good strategy to go up against Sundowns because there were a lot of holes in the middle and the pockets, and Matthews and Reyners found a lot of joy in front against Gallant. So, and I didn't understand why their right back was always going a little bit forward, leaving Reyners there. Or on the side. So I think Coach Dendens, those are the things he should have noticed before we even scored, because even Morena went on the right, countering Marumo like twice or three times before we scored a goal, and he should have noticed that he could have fixed his defensive line, and his midfield, and change a little bit of formation. You know, just like how Supersport played Sundowns in the first half, they should have tried to do that, you know. So I think Dendens, he should learn how to adapt, like Agent said. He can't just always go tika. Even now, if you watch Barcelona, they also go route one. You know, teams have changed. They've adapted. They no longer just play that tika and only shoe shine and piano. Even Sundowns now, they've gone back to the 2016 of maybe Pitso Mosimane a little bit. But let's give Mangoba his credit. We shouldn't say it's only Coach Pitso, but like Coach Pitso said, this Sundowns, it was started by the late Braskrima. So all the coaches who came after, he just doesn't want to take credit for everyone, but Rulani took it to another level. So let's give also Coach Mangoba, who seems to take it to another level. But coming to the second question about should we be worried about the second goal, or where
the second half
Gallant
after
scored towards the second half? Yes, after the subs. I think those subs were, I think Coach Mangoba wanted to see if Khoza can play in that central role in midfield where Kotzia plays, and I think it dropped a little bit, and I can't remember who came in as well. But what had happened, we dropped a little bit, and I saw that Marumo Gallants was attacking us on the wings, which is what they were supposed to do from the first half. Because even their penalty, that shot Mangane of number 10, he dribbled past Zung, forgot his name, the new number right back. So and they got a penalty, and on the right wing, our Tshwane was a bit tired as well. They put in 2 crosses. So I think that's what he should have gone. He should have gone direct on the wing. And that's what I'm scared of, that if Chiefs can realize those mistakes of Sundowns and they put in a guy like Dupreez on the right where Duba was playing, and on the left they can play somebody like Serino, and they can go direct quickly, you know, because Marty's got the long ball. So Chiefs can really hit Sundowns if they can play like that. But yeah, Sundowns should be a little bit concerned in terms of the last 15-20 minutes, the way they played, because also just to point out something, Chiefs is that team that when you play against OT, who's that? No, Chiefs is that team when you play against, they rise to the occasion. When they play against Pirates and Sundowns, they really rise to the occasion. And when I just want to highlight this. I know we're not talking about Chiefs, but what I saw about Chiefs. OT.
Coach, we're gonna go into Chiefs time.
Okay. But you're gonna give other guys of Chiefs a chance, so I won't get a chance. That's why I want to highlight this.
Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. No, I wanted to say what I saw about Chiefs. That guy Miguel, he's bringing that Middendorps kind of football to Chiefs, where we're gonna see a lot of goals from set pieces. That's all I wanted to say. And Sundowns should be wary of that over the weekend.
Okay. Let me go let me go to Kumo. Kumo, welcome. How are you?
Oh, I guess on 10 minutes.
Go for 10 minutes. I'm getting late. You're getting 5 because Tyler has to speak. Come on.
Tell it I love it.
I need a general thoughts, number 1. And then number 2, I'm going to just go straight to the Sundowns question. How did you feel about the ending of that game and maybe how Sundowns played at the end?
I mean, it was nothing really to worry about. I mean, like, it's natural. After scoring 4 goals, having a penalty save, you are bound to be complacent, you know. I mean, like, the game was that important. Nothing really to lead into much one. And besides, you saw the kind of squad that we had. I'm a networking. Did you lock my car? Oh, Wangudlo. Am I audible? I can't hear you though. Okay, no, it's fine. Okay, yeah. Okay, okay, sorry, man. Yeah, man. Like like we didn't have our senior members one Tlhalohang. So such mistakes when we have our full squad, I don't think can really thing. But overall, I was happy at the game. We had so many men of the matches performances. I was impressed. Kaumukulis, obviously Ribeiro was there. Even Lena Zuko, even though he made mistakes, but there were some glimpses. Couldn't tell he's one for the future. But performance, I saw a Sundowns that was menacing, a Sundowns that used to instill fear into opponents. Colleagues on that team a long time, and a greedy Sundowns, greedy in the sense of like we wanna outscore you, we wanna outplay you, we wanna outpace you. Everything was there. So because I saw so many positives, I saw so many different formations, so many new faces, getting back to our roots. So the last 5 minutes I can forgive. When even though it wasn't one of those classic saves Ronan Williams, it was a penalty save. So record continue. So yeah, I mean, I've never been much more happier to be a Sundowns fan currently. I take back what I said about Mangoba Thoma. But yeah, I want a vision. Happy guy, now we believe we move on.
Okay. And by the way, your car's unlocked. Let me go to Tyler. Tyler, 2 questions. What's happening with PSL coaching? That they can't adapt, they can't adjust. We've spoken about Dentons. We're speaking about Dentons now. We've spoken about the Polokwane City coach. We spoke about Supersport the other day. What is happening? And is it really down to resources? What's causing that, number one? And then number 2, how did you feel about the end of the Gallants Sundowns game?
I think OT. I think finances. I think as much as we don't want to admit it, if Sundowns didn't have the budget to buy your Allende, to buy Modiba, Mokwena, and all those players there, because you buy, you purchase according to quality. And quality, costs, okay? And you look at the salary scale of those guys. I'm sure Sundowns, they are paying close to 300 million, including the staff and everybody else in there. So financially, that matters, right? But then to play devil advocate, you look at a team like Stellenbosch. What is it that they're applying and that they are doing good in their team? Because you've got players that we don't even know that comes in the first team and play very well and meet Sundowns, pound to pound, right? So I think then to answer you directly, I think it's a matter of the methodology that you apply. And the objectives that you want to achieve as a team. And I think a lot of PSL teams and chairmen, they are impatient, OT. They're very impatient. 3 to 4 games, if you don't win, you are booted out, and that creates instability because they're going to hire another coach from overseas who comes in and try to learn more first, learn the players, how, learn about South African football, learn about the players. So that creates a lot of instabilities and all of that. So you've got that.
But Tyler, just to ask a question, Mara, is it too much for a coach to say, yes, in the right back, left back, Ujampa too much, sit back a little bit, or defense, your line is broken. Can somebody talk and get in line? I think the adapting is more of those type of things where I'm like, Mara, guys, it can't be that hard to make those changes.
Yes, I think, OT, there's so much a coach can do during the game, because players, even themselves, they need to apply. Because remember, a coach is just a guider. But at the end of the day, you are a professional. You need to apply your mind. You need to be innovative. But also the coaches as well. You need to be very arrogant as a coach and come up with different schemes, and be innovative on how to because PSL, you know what you're going to face at Sundowns, you know what you're going to face at Stellenbosch, you know what you're going to face at Cape Town City. You are playing with these guys season in, season out. So why are you not being innovative? We've seen Rulani, how I know agent is gonna kill me. We've seen how Rulani have been innovative in South African football, and it was so refreshing. Why are coaches not applying those tactics? Why are they not giving them clips to watch international football, to watch the EPL, how a defender defends, how a midfielder positioning, how does it attack and all of that, off the ball movement, on the ball movement. And I think just to go just a little bit to Chiefs, that's what's beating Chiefs. Off the ball movement, what do we do when you don't have the ball? What do we do as a team? Those things are very important, because football is you're attacker, you attack me. You're attacker, you attack me. So when you attack me, what must happen? When I attack you, what must happen? So I think just to look at Maromo quickly, the difference there is horrible. The defense, the positioning is horrible. Look at the third goal, Ka Ribeiro. They put the ball between the defense. There's a gap there, which I'm worried about as well at Chiefs. There's a huge gap there at Chiefs. The midfield, they're allowing people to kick the ball. Hence, I was saying to you initially, OT, off the ball, what is my responsibility as a midfielder? What is my responsibility as a defender? Where must I position? How do I communicate those things with my colleague? Okay, the goalkeeper, I think there's a goalkeeping problem there at Maromo. They need to look into that. I love their 84th minutes. 84th minutes to the 87th minute, they really put Sundowns under pressure. I think they can build from that, because from there, they managed to get a goal. I think if they can start from there and build from there for the season, I think there will be a good team to reckon with.
Agent, I'm going to give you a minute, and I'm going to give Kumo a minute. We're going to go into extra time. Agent?
No, I need 30 seconds. I just wanted to say, Kumo, did they close your fucking cover? Anyways, I just wanted to say, so I forgot, sorry. PG-18, sorry. But anyways, I wanted to say that wise men change their mind. So I hope that I'm glad that you're a wise man, and I'm happy that you're a wise man. Other unwise people have not changed their mind. If you don't know who I'm talking about, just type Trump plus All-Star. You'll know them. I'm naming and shaming. Thank you.
Kumo, what do you want to say in your minute?
Oh, can I come back for my favorite team, Chiefs?
We'll see if there's space. Okay, guys. With that being said, thank you, Kumo. I hope they did lock your car. Let me fix myself, man. I was sitting on the bench for a little bit. Okay, we're going to get into Kaizer Chiefs now. The Kaizer Chiefs game. Kaizer Chiefs versus AmaZulu. A game that Kaizer Chiefs won by 3 goals to 1. Chiva Vairo found the back of the next net. 12th minute, 14th minute, Sereno. 23rd minute, Inacio Miguel. And then, of course, Igodaro came back in the 47th minute. 13 shots from Kaizer Chiefs, 7 on target, 44% possession. Whereas AmaZulu had 14 shots, 3 on target, and 56% possession. I'm giving you time. This is for people who are going to speak Chiefs. Please, the people are requesting, please make sure that you are going to speak Kaizer Chiefs right now. While we wait, thank you for the likes. We're on 34,000. Let's try get to 50. I'm smiling. I'm happy. You know my team is coming in. We've got 6 points. Let's have the chat. And then, of course, remember, 9 o'clock, Lindo Pep show is going to start. So you can go from here to @LindoPep and you can watch the technical technocrat breakdown show. So please request, guys, and let's have a conversation about Kaizer Chiefs' game versus Amazulu. So let me let in some people. Guys, if you come in late, I can't guarantee you a space or time. And if there's 2 people on, I will speak to the 2 people, man, and they'll take all that time. But anyway, let me go to Upeko. Peko, welcome to the show. How are you?
So,
Mangimnandi. GSK, please can you just turn down your can you please mute there? Can you please mute, my brother?
Sure.
Can you just please mute so that we can hear what's happening there? I'm gonna go through everybody as I normally do. So Peko, Kaizer Chiefs played Amazulu yesterday, another 3 points. How did you feel about that game?
Kokala, let me greet you and the guys on the panel. I'm very happy. Ne? I'm happy. I'm happy that we can get the results very early in the season. Ne? But that game, I was not happy with the way we play or with our game management, because the first 20 minutes we really played the typical Kaizer Chiefs. We really showed hunger. We took our chances very early. Yeah. But then, second half, once we took out Blom, I felt like, hey, the guys consider the goal, and the guys, Amazulu, want to equalize and stuff. So, hey, it's just in our game management. Yeah, with the fitness level of the guys. Because once we took out Njabulo Blom, now we won because Amachita Panza Trolley, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
But again, hey, Samile, man, I was happy with the defense, but I'm still not sure about this goalkeeper. I got test, I don't know. But just that we need to improve, man. There's a lot that we need to improve on. Our midfielders, they need to now to help out the guys at the back.
Can I ask? After that 20 minutes and we started getting messy, especially in the second half, how much of that was them being tired, or how much of it was that they were going back to default settings? You know what, guys? The entire coach for 20 minutes saying, Katele, I want to go back to my default settings. How do you feel about that?
Hey, I don't know if it's the mindset of the guys that we have 3 goals now. We have to defend the 3 goals. Or I don't know, maybe it's the mindset of the guys. I don't know. Or the teamwork, I don't know. But yeah, man, we'll get there.
Okay.
We have to work on. We have to work on our game management. We score the 3 goals, then we become patient. We pass the ball. We invite the guys. Then we score more goals. I felt like Bezmele scored even 5 goals there because now we allow Amazulu to come to us now. No.
Okay, I'm gonna come back. Let me bring in GSK. GSK, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
No stress. Welcome, brother. Tell me, Chiefs 3-1 Amazulu. What are your general thoughts about that game?
Firstly, it was a great advertisement for the PSL, man. I was really happy to see the sell out, the game being sold out, and I think that really had an effect on the first 20 minutes of the game. My theory is there's a full good factor around Kaizer Chiefs right now. The players want to be there. There's a new manager. There's hope with the fans. So in the first 20 minutes, I think if you're Amazulu and their fans, you're shocked. Chiefs is there. They're attacking you. they're scoring the goals. So I think that's what happened. Amazulu didn't come to the party. After 20 minutes, they realized, hey, we've got to play the game here. And by then, the damage was done. But credit to them, when it gets to halftime, I think they tweaked a few things and Chiefs now had to work for the game. But other than that, I do think Chiefs still needs a little bit of work in midfield. And if they do a few tweaks, there's hope there. I mean, you've got Seruna there, who's a major threat going forward. Chivarero is coming to his own. So they're not done yet. They're a work in progress, and I think they're going to be entertaining for the rest of the season.
How would you fix that midfield and defense? Well, what would you change?
There was a gap, and it's like I'm not sure what they're trying to do. I'm not sure if they're trying to build or if they're trying to press. So if it was me, while obviously you've got the forwards, the Sarunas, and they've got options there, I would play with two holding midfielders to stabilize it up until a point where maybe Unabi has put across his philosophy and everyone buys into what he's doing. For example, you're going to go play against Sundowns now. You cannot afford to have that gap in midfield. So I would have two sitters to stabilize up until at a point where maybe they'll play with the 6 and the 8, so however you want to call it. But for now, I would stabilize that with the 2.
Okay. Let me go to Tyler. Tyler, how are you doing? Welcome back.
Back again, OT.
Tyler, what do you think about this game here, Chiefs Amazon?
There's one thing that I've observed about Chiefs, OT, in the last 2 games. First 20 minutes, they come for you. That's what they've done against Marumo to get those goals. So I think Nabi strategy, he might be caught, because if you're going to play with Sundowns, remember those guys are tactical and technically disciplined, and they've watched this game and they've watched the other game, Marumo. In the middle of the park, you don't have a midfield. You've got Mart that is dropping very deep, but whenever he has to mark the ball, doesn't mark the ball. And there's no communication between him and Blom. But I understand Blom because it's his first game. So cannot expect a lot from him. As I indicated earlier on, OT, that there's a gap between Miguel and Dudley. They need to fix that. Otherwise, Ribeiro is going to come through and score those goals, or Matthews, if they're not careful. And then you've got Ule and Duka on your left-hand side, whom I'm very worried about, River Frosler. River Frosler, he doesn't know how to mark the one-on-ones. He's always found wanting whenever he goes up. And now you find Ule and Duka, Miguel and Dudley drifting to that side and leaving Ukros with 2 players. And if you check the last, how we were being attacked from the 80th minute upwards, there's 2 players that are coming to cross. And he also made a yellow card because of the pressure that that they were exerting on him. But I'm very impressed with the boy. He just needs to work on his recovery, and he drift up to add numbers when going forward. I'm worried. I'm really worried about that midfield. There is no midfield there, OT. I'm really worried about. They need to go to the market and try to get someone who can replace Mart. And also, I don't know who scouted that keeper. I don't know who's the scout at Chiefs. What criteria have they used, to get that guy at Chiefs? Even in the first game, I'm really worried about that guy. They're gonna test him. As I told you, Sundowns are a very disciplined, tactical and technical team, and I'm seeing a 4-0. Thanks, OT.
Can I just ask you very, very quickly, Tyler?
Yeah.
You spoke now about the goalkeeper and the scouting.
Yes.
Now, my question is, have we improved? Have we improved across the board? or has there been a systematic change when we attack, but we have the same problems in defense? Whether it's Given Msimango Ditokwe, whether it's Dotley and Miguel, whether it's Mart and Zwane, or Mart and Castillo, or Mart and Mtetwa. Have we actually improved, or are we just getting by because we're very lucky? We do our work early.
We have slightly improved. Not, I would say, 65% improved, OT. Because if you're going to have a midfield that is open like that, other teams are going to punish you. It's a pity they're not playing in Africa. And Sundowns is going to expose that come Saturday. If you play against Stellies, they're going to expose that. If you play against Pirates, they're going to expose that. And other strong teams in the PSL, like Ilenduka. What is this team? Not
Stellies, Cape Town City.
Where now Ulenduku corner from Sundowns was Sekhukhune.
Sekhukhune.
Yeah, that's a very technical team, very tactical as well. They're going to expose that, So I really think they let go of Ulenduku Bongani Zungu. They should have brought him in just to stabilize him, the midfield there. Yes, going forward, I'm very impressed. I think 100% improvement there. You see the combination of Cirino, Chivaviro, Shabalala, and Duba. Duba is very smart, more than Ulendu Saile. He knows when to pose, he knows when to attack, and when to pass, who to pass, how to pass it. As opposed to Saile, who just runs and it just falls. No tactical and technical discipline there. Yeah, thanks.
For time. Let me go to Umkaya. Oh, Mokwena 90, welcome to the show. How are you? Oh. Okay, we'll come back. Mkaya, are you with me?
How's it, Chief?
Man, now I get excited to say another Mokwena. Then you so bold, man, before coming in, but it's fine. Welcome. Kaizer Chiefs, Amazulu, how did you find that game?
OG. To tell you the truth, Chiefs, we have attacking players, but the problem is we do not have holding midfielders, and we are not good at ball marking. That's one thing that I've realized while watching this game. We do not mark the ball. Once the opponent has the ball, we are just marking spaces. Yes, it's good you can mark spaces, but what about the ball? What about the opponent? Why are you not marking the opponent? Why are you letting the opponent come to you and rely on the defenders to do their job for you? Whether you like it or not, at some point the defenders will do it because of the post.
Yeah.
Well, 1 and 2. We were good for the first 20 minutes, yes. Then the problem started after goal number 3. That's when now weakness now those people are trying to come back. When they are trying to come back, weakness
can we afford to have 4 attacking players? Yes, when we attack, it's nice to have Chivaviro, Rebelistele, Duba, Shabalala, Cirino. But Aramakara short. Can we afford to have 4 players up front?
No, man, OG, for me, it's unnecessary. Remember Culture Chiefs. Culture Chiefs were always good to Kamba. If we were always good with the midfield. That holding midfield has always been our strong point. The list goes on. We are always good at that. And once we had a holding midfield, everything was going perfectly fine. We started to feel the need to Kenya batho ba attack-ang kaofela. What's going to happen the minute we lose our position? The minute we lose our position, batho ba le ba attack-ang ha ba tsebe ho mark. All they know is to receive and go forward. Now they are no longer receiving and going forward. Now they have to defend, which is their weakest point. So if we keep at this game at Sundowns, I'm telling you, we are going to lose like nobody's business. Nabi has to think about who Mtetwa, put Mtetwa in there. Mtetwa can play as a director, whatever the director into the Chiefs. Put a director there. I hold them by you. Then let Bosiri, Bomang, by saying, Basiden to Anatina. We can't have all attacking midfielders. Karagini OT. How who's going to defend it? Nobody.
Ke rata hore tracker na le di tracker man bo ka tsande man bo ka tsande bo ntona ke bang
ya rona.
I'm gonna come back
ya rona ho ka isheba.
Ricky Tshwane, I'm gonna come back. Tshwane, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, OT. Evening, how's it?
Man, me, I'm always happy, man. 6 points, 6 points, and points come in, I will smile. Tshwane, how did you see the game? Kaizer Chiefs and Amazul?
It was a good first half. We played well. We showed intent very early in the game that we want to win. And I think also we just got complacent because we scored 3 goals early. And forgot that we need to manage the game, But if you look at Chiefs, you see a team with great potential, that can become better, We have areas that we can improve on, especially managing the game when we are in a position of advantage, The middle field needs a bit of work, because our second half was a bit of a disaster, But with our intensity, man, we should have the right mentality, out of position, because we play with very high intensity, So we also need to take care of our legs. So we need to manage games sometimes, and not go with that high intensity all the time, But these wins, I think for me, they bring a lot of good energy into the team. They bring the confidence and the mentality that's needed by the boys, and I think we will get better as time goes on. I cannot really complain about much because it's only our second game in the season, under a new coach, under a new technical team, with a host of new players. And I think if we give them time, we can become a better team and we can be highly competitive. I think we've seen the mental temperament of our players, there's been a shift mentally, there's been a shift in attitude. I'm just worried about Ashley Dupree. In the 2 games that I've seen him, his body language is not showing of someone that's really like has confidence. Maybe he needs to score a goal or 2, just to work on his confidence. You look at Ranga, it's good that Ranga is scoring. With Ranga scoring, it boosts his confidence, and he becomes our outlet again, because we're struggling up front. But the combination of Mdu, Serino, and Ranga, it's going to be very deadly this season.
Can I ask you just one thing, Tshwane? You're speaking about these players. How much does the crowd play into this? And I mean it from the sense of it feels as though the players get so excited that they give everything, man. The 20 minutes when everything is running and the crowd is there. How much does the crowd play into this? And how much does having players who can calm people down, how does that play into what Chiefs is going to do this season?
Look, I think if you know the history of Chiefs, their supporters are their 12 men, And it's very important because if you look at what's happening now, the supporters are so excited. They're behind the team.
Yeah.
going, they're attending games, unlike the past 2 seasons where we saw a decline in game attendance. So it's going to be very important that they manage what's happening, especially in the stands. You have Mfundo Vilakazi who can always engage the crowd, but the key important thing that we need to have a player that can really control the tempo of the game, and I haven't seen that from any of our players, and I think if maybe we give Mfundo that role, just that I see that the coach loves getting him in from the bench, but he's a crowd favorite. And I don't think Ushabalala can do that. But with Mfundo knows how to read the game, and he understands the crowd, he knows how to engage with the crowd. But it's going to be very important for us to always make sure that we have our fans behind us, regardless of what happens. And we need someone that can engage them. And, I will make mention of Tito, and sorry to go off board a bit, but he knows how to engage the supporters and the crowd at Orlando Pirates, and he uses that to the advantage, and sometimes the other teams tend to focus too much on what he's going to do, and when the crowd cheers, and then he just plays a pass, in that moment when they listening to the crowd roar, there's a pass that's being played, now they're caught ball watching, and it's something that we're going to need to use to our advantage, that we need to make sure that we engage our crowd. We know how to use our crowd, because at some point when they sing so loud, when they're behind us, it gives us more energy and it gives us the confidence to go and play and do well, But the Kaizer Chiefs supporters, I think they know how to rally behind the team. And this is one of those seasons where everyone is ready to go all out to support the team.
For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. I think I meant it more in the sense of, can the crowd be too much for some of these players? And it's going to go into the secondary question where I'm going to ask, Pico, do we have leaders in the team? And it was a comment I saw from Musia there in the comments. Do we have leaders in the team that can, one, make sure that, obviously the simple thing is, even in defense, for example, somebody to tell who to go where and who to come back, and Imalana, check behind you, because it doesn't look like there's anybody speaking, number one. But then number two, when is Tofus Shisa, when everything is going crazy, somebody who can be like a Patrick Mabedi and say, can we please calm down, guys, keep your heads, let's not run too much right now because we're going to be tired later. Do we have leaders in the team, number one? And then number two, is it the system or is it the players? Because we've seen the same defensive errors when Quinica was playing right back, to Frostler, to Solomons. We've seen the same problems in the center of defense when it's Gotley and Miguel, or whether it's Kimang, Msimango and Ditokwe. We've seen some of the same things on the left-hand side with Cross and Shanti and Tove. Mart and whoever's playing with him. Is it the system or is it the players?
We do have leaders. We do have leaders. And I'm very impressed in Miguel, because I can see Miguel. We are communicating with these boys. It's the players. It's not the system, it's the players. Because it Chiefs this season, I feel sorry for this Tingle team. I was hoping, but the management is is going to break the bank and sign all those quality players, your Apolis, your Mokwanas, all those guys. Because I'm afraid if you don't have a Sereno, who's another Sereno? You see, if he gets injured, who's another Sereno who's going to come in the field? If Blom is injured, who's another Blom?
Yeah.
In terms of this player who's going to come, because I think we don't have a proper number 8. That player who's going to hold the ball and make us play. Now we're leading is Trini against Amazulu. We just passing around, going back to the goalkeeper, just to invite the guys, you win convincingly. The goalkeeper kicking the ball away, No, it's not the system, it's the players. I think most of the players there have average players. Quality is there, few, but some of the players are very average players. But I can see what the work the coaches have done. But yeah, we don't have that player, man. I hope come January, the next window, we find that player, man, you are talking about. That player who's going to carry us in the middle. Because at the back, I'm very happy about this Miguel guy. If he was not new, I would give him the armband because I can see he talks and he marshals the defense. He's very vocal, that guy. He's a true leader. He's a soldier, that guy. In the middle, I don't know, just the connection for me in the middle between the midfielders and the defense, because off the ball, hey, we are very terrible. We are struggling, my bro. We are struggling. When we took off, the guys that came in made the game very worse. That was Saile. Where are your Pulemoti? Where is your Pulemoti and other guys? But yeah, I hope we find these players. Just the matter of it's just the quality for me. Just the quality.
Okay. Let me go to GSK. GSK, is it the system of the players? Because if we look at our front players, Chivavairo hasn't changed. He's still Chivavairo. Shabalala, maybe you can bring in Duba. Possibly Sireno's the biggest change, but they've now got a different system that they're playing up front and they're actually playing. We're looking at our defense and our midfield, same issues that we've been crying about for the past 3 years. Now, is it system or is it the players? The first question. And then number two, do we have leaders? And when I talk about leaders, it's not necessarily speaking about Botito and those type of guys. I'm speaking about grown-ups, abomabedi, guys who can, when Shuffle is getting out of hand, can say, hey, Shuffle, calm down. When the game is going away, your Roy Keanes, your Kana Adams at Arsenal. Do we have those type of players in this team?
I think I'll get straight to the leaders question. I don't think you have leaders, and this is with respect to your current team. If we look at the previous names that you had, I was fortunate enough to watch Chiefs versus Stellies when Ungezana scored a goal as a defender and he took off his shirt. I referenced that because in that moment, him as a defender was a youngster coming up. You had Bernard Parker and Katsande, almost manhandling him. A lot of fans took, offense with that, but those are the leaders. Those are the guys who remind you, hey, you just scored a goal, but listen, you're a defender. You're gonna get into tackles, so you can't be getting a senseless yellow card. So if I look at the current team now, yeah, there's potential, but you can't really point out to a player and say, those are your leaders. Okay, Matt's got the armband, but for me, he doesn't strike me as, the kind of leader to calm things down when you need control, when the chips are down. So maybe it will come with the new regime. Maybe someone will grow into it. But currently, I don't think you have leaders. And then to your second question, is it the system or the players? I think it's definitely a bit of both. Some systems don't fit certain players, and sometimes an environment just doesn't, it's not conducive enough. So right now, like I said earlier on, there's a really feel-good factor. I don't even think we've seen what Nabi is going to do or the potential. In my opinion, what we're seeing now is just players feeding off a feel-good environment, good dressing room. They want to impress the new manager. The fans are coming back. So maybe within 10 to 15 games, we're going to start to really see, okay, the system's working, the players are buying into it, or maybe we've got another case of, wait, players are not really into this. So I think it's too soon to say whether it's the system or the players.
Okay. Let me go to Tyler. Tyler, same two questions for you. Do we have leaders in the team? And again, I'm not referencing like the best players. I'm referencing the standard bearers, the guys who will grab somebody and say, hey, wait, now this is Chiefs. Or when the crowd has gotten onto you or the crowd is behind you and you are hyped up, someone to just keep a level head and things like that. Do we have those type of players at Kaizer Chiefs, number one? And then number two, is it the system or the players, especially in that defense? Because we have upgraded, but it seems like we're having the same problems. in a sense, upgraded?
I think just to answer you, OT, I think Mart. First, let's look at the squad first, and you have about 3 new players there, or 4, if I'm not mistaken. Cross, Dotley, Miguel, Sereno. I wouldn't say Blom is really a new player because he's been at Chiefs. So I think the profile of Miguel, one of the when I was listening to Kaizer, he said the guy is vocal, and that's one of the thing that attracted them from Miguel, to marshal the defense and and speak to the guys on the back and all of that. Mart has been there, but he has not been really playing that role. So I really think that Miguel, as time goes by, because you could see he's speaking to the players, he's shouting at them, and he's really doing that. You could, So that's the profile of the guy. The system at the back, I think it's still new. OT, well, I think we're being hard on these guys. It's the first time Miguel is playing with Dotley. First time ever. So we need to also take into consideration of that. And assuming that they watch their clips and they are told what areas they need to improve on. So so far, so good so far.
Okay. Let me go to Mokwena. Mokwena, we're speaking about these things, and maybe you'll understand me. Kimang mabedi wa rona, kimang tabomoki, guys that are level-headed, moleko teaming, who can lead the team ko groundung, especially when, for example, Chiefs, also for 20 minutes. Obviously, it's high. They scored 3 goals. The crowd is behind them. Wait, then they run more, whatever. How about the 40th minute they're tired because there's nobody who can keep them in line, or even at the back in the midfield? Director. Do we have leaders in the team? And then number 2, is it the system or is it the players?
Sure, OT. Listen, Chief. Number 1, leaders. We do have. Number 1, Miguel. You, that guy. That guy is one hell of a team leader, and I wish the coach can forget that he's just new in the team. Just give the guy the armband. The guy is so good. He knows how to control the defense. He knows how to talk to the players, and he understands the instructions from the technical team and follows them to the team. This other guy, Mad. I feel like we over-judge Matt. We are judging Matt overly, unnecessarily so.
Yeah.
The only problem with Matt is that if you look back at this game of yesterday, the thing is Castillo overworked Matt because now Castillo ended up being nowhere in the game, and now Matt had to carry that defense on his own, and there was no Matt. There was no Castillo. Yeah, you see. So we do have like those leaders in the team, people that can lead us, and like Babon said, the youngsters, guys, or hey guys, calm down. This is how 1, 2, 3 is done. This is how we push and coming to this thing, is it management or players? For me, I'd say it's both. I think maybe Nabi said to the guys, we need to press. And when we press, we need to press hard. But do not give them space to breathe. Now, the guys were doing that. But at the end of the day, as we know, with most of the teams, once you are leading the first half, you are leading 3 goals to 0. What do? You are like, aye, guys, we've exhausted ourselves now. Once you come to that point, you're saying, let us relax. And when you relax, that's where you lose the most important aspect of the game, which is composure.
Yeah.
Because now you are relaxed. The minute you relax, the opponent is losing. What are they going to do? They're going to say, okay, guys, let's cover. Let's try to attack, so that we can at least get something out of this thing. So hence I'm saying the problem goes both ways. The coach says, guys, press, attack.
Okay.
Hence the starting lineup, hence the formation. One of those guys, the lineup says attack. Score. That's not how you play football. As much as you want to attack, as much as you want to score goals, you also need to defend, to mark, to keep everybody and everything in check, which will end up failing. I would say with yesterday's game, we were saying the goalkeeper did us favor, like this Amazulu goalkeeper. If you look at it, let's bar Chivavilo's goal, Stevino's goal, Miguel's goal. That was the goalkeeper's weakness. The goalkeeper was weak. If it was like Velimufa, those two goals wouldn't have been there. Wouldn't have scored those goals if it was Velimufa. It showed that the goalkeeper was weak, and then on a later stage, after that 20 minutes or so, that's where now we went through that Chiefs that was trophyless for 9 or so years. That's non direction. We had no direction. We were just playing.
But for time's sake, something again. For time's sake, sorry, Mokwena. It's just that I'm running out of time. Thank you. Okay, this is what I want to say, guys. Follow if you have not followed. Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. we are here. If Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, Bafana, Banyana, Bastyle, UWC in the Champions League are playing, we're going to be here. That will then dictate, the games will dictate the time. This is what I wanted to say, and I think I only have enough time to make 2 points. My number 1 point is, I think what modern football gets wrong a lot of the times, in this modern game, what it gets wrong is that there's a difference between locker room leaders and guys who are leaders on the pitch. And I think what has happened a lot in modern football is that we've taken guys who are great gents in the back, who are wonderful speakers, who can, pat people on the back and speak and do all of that stuff in the change room. And we've given them armbands and said, you must go do that outside. The reason why I'm speaking about leadership is there's a balance. For you to have a Jabupule, you have to have a Mabedi, you have to have a Tabomoki. Why? You have to have adults in the team. Guys who are going to say, listen, let's calm down now, number one, or listen, we're losing it here, we're losing it there. The Manchester United players speak of Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane. I remember Thierry Henry spoke on Tony Adams. He said, when he had just joined Arsenal, it was about to be the North London derby. He was messing around at practice. You have to be serious. This is now, you're not playing for some weird team. This is Arsenal. They're the standard bearers. And why that's important is I feel as though what's killing Kaizer Chiefs in these games, even though we've won, I don't take away anything about us winning. I think we've now seen 2 games where we have 20 minutes where we go full out. Full out. Hey, we go hard. The crowd we carry on going, crosses up and down, crosses doing this, that person's doing that. Mart is marking in the middle. Everybody's running around. And post the 20 minutes, even in the game versus Ikalans, post that 20 minutes, we struggle because we're gone. Fitness is gone, the stamina is gone, we're now fatigued, now we're chasing the game. And when we start chasing the game, we lose concentration. So you need grown-ups. The other example I use is if you remember TS Galaxy playing Sundowns last year, where TS Galaxy scores, they all go crazy. Everybody's running around. No coach is jumping into the crowd. He's doing all those things. They needed someone to say, hang on, guys, scorile, we need to focus for the next 5 minutes, for the next 10 minutes. hey, keep your positions. I don't see that thing happening even in defense. And it's going to go into the second point that I want to make. The second point I want to make is the system versus the players. The reason why I say the system is an issue, especially in defense, is that they're doing the same things that are putting everybody into trouble. Here's how it goes. On the right-hand side, you have you have Ufrosla. Duba is meant to be running all the way up the pitch and all the way down. So if Duba presses forward, that means if we lose the ball, he has to run from the other side to come all the way back to help Frosla. And what happens is that puts Frosla in a tough situation, because if he's being attacked on the side, he has to pick whether to jump the player and go to him, which means that if I go, I leave a space. But because we won in that particular time, he can't sit back either, because now you're allowing the pressure to come to you. So when he jumps, Miguel now has to cover him, and you see the whole back three shifting. But in my head, I'm going, you have 2 6s. So one of them, it's either one drops into the middle so that one of the center backs can go and run and assist Frosla on the side, or your wing has to be back, or the 6 has to go to that space and cover when Urairen goes, Frosla goes, which Mart tried to do, but he was always a step behind, which meant now when Mart leaves his position chasing because he's late, there's a space. And that's where that space in front of the defense came from. So the system for me also needs to be looked at, because the same thing was happening with Msimango. Msimango was a great defender up until the point where he was pulled out of position and had to go wide. And he's not good wide one-on-one. That's where we saw some of the yellow cards. That's where we saw some of the goals coming in, because now I have to drag the talk. If you guys are not realizing, the far side, so when Frosla does that, so when everybody moves like this, Cross was left with 2 players. 2 players. If they crossed it far post, we get the Motaung goal from last season with Sundowns, right? So that's why I say the system needs to be worked on. The other part of the system is we're sacrificing 4 players: Duba, Cirino, Chivavairo, and Shabalal. So same thing is happening on the other side, because Cirino doesn't come back. Fine, he's our creative player. So that means your 2 6s have to do a lot of work to be covering. Agent in the group called it that setting on FIFA where you say, do you cover the wing or do you cover the middle? Right? We need to get that right. And that is the system thing. Similar to how now our attack looks so good, because now they've got a system. Cirino drifts inside, then he's got 3 runners, and the defense has to pick which runner they're going to go with. If you look at the goal that Cirino scored, Shabalala came from behind him and ran past him in order to move the defender that was right in front of Cirino for him to get the shot. So all of these things are systems, and that's why I'm asking the system question, because at the end of the day, you sit back and you go, I've seen Mart and Castillo, I've seen Mart and Zwane, I've seen Mart and Mtetwa, I've seen Msimango and Kwinika, I've seen Msimango and Ditokwe, I've seen Msimango and Dove in the middle. I've seen the different combinations. At what point do we say, hey guys, what are we doing in defense? What is the system? How do we work? If I give you an example just to close, because I've just gone over, if I give you an example to close, Mulifintseki, when he played against Sundowns, there was a system. So what he did was, okay, there's 2 central midfielders, there are 2 6s. All you guys are going to do is push the person down the wing, and then you double whoever it is. So they were doubling Masego, for example. That was the system. It didn't give us anything in attack, but they had thought about it, and there was a cover. We cannot, and take nothing away from the win. It's a win. A win is a win. It's still early. All of the things are true. Now we're just having that type of discussion to say, how do you set up? How do you move them? What do you do? And I think that's what's missing. For me, let's scrap this 2 6s thing. We need to have 1 person Osalai. No more 2 6s where you're trying to do higher grade things and move around. 2 people by 1 person Yasala, The other one can be an 8 and go and move around and do whatever. Even if that 6 is just to stand in front of the defense. That's what you do, systems. And I hope Nebi can look at that, because we are making the same mistakes and we have the same weaknesses. And if we go into the game versus Sundowns and Frosla is jumping, Frosla's jumping and there's somebody in the middle, or Frosla's jumping and there's a place on the other side, or Cross is one-on-one versus Reyners, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried there. I'm a little bit worried. But anyway, guys, I've gone over in time. Please follow if you have not followed. Follow. I drop content almost every day. I've got my breakdowns of the game on YouTube in full, 15-minute videos where I tell you exactly what I'm thinking about and what I saw. So please support and check out that side. Please follow if you have not followed. Thank you so much to Moshikaro, Montana. Thank you so much to Crazy T, Fandenom, Lutendo, Velile. Thank you so much for the gifts on that side. And then Lindo's show has started, I believe. So at Lindo Pep, go on over there. They will have a far more nuanced technical breakdown of this. We have the bigger picture conversation. So please, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you then for the game on Saturday. Sundowns versus Chiefs. It's been amazing. Thank you to everybody who's in the comments. Thank you to those that jumped onto the panels. You know, it's about interaction. There's no other place where we speak like this, man. There's no other place. It's either you're listening to Thomas speaking to a former player or a former coach, or you're listening to those people. We also have to speak here. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, on my YouTube channel, you click on subscribe, click on join. You'll gain access to the WhatsApp group through that way. And there's no holds barred. There's not 2 hours. There we go the whole day, and there's videos, there's banter. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of fun. It's an incredible place. You've heard some of the people speak here about Agent, Tibo Malume Kuto, Bevelile. They've spoken here. Those are the same guys that are in that group. There's about 40 of us, if I'm not mistaken. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place to be. Guys, it's been amazing. I'll see you guys then on Saturday. Bye, everyone. Tyler, if you don't get right, just send me a DM and then I will help you with that process. Bye, everyone.